Are you really self-employed as a registered massage therapist? You might think you are, but if the Canada Revenue Agency sees it differently, it could cost you big time. Hi, and welcome to my series about mastering self-employment as an RMT. If you're a new RMT and comparing contracts from different clinics, this video is going to help you spot the difference between them, avoid any common mistakes, and help you get the best out of what you're looking for. All right, welcome to part one in this three-part series all about taxes for self-employed RMTs. This first video, I'm going to be talking all about understanding what it really means to be self-employed. How does CRA determine what your employment status is? And how can you spot these factors in a contract when you're looking at different clinics? When comparing these contracts from different clinics, it's important to understand what type of business you're walking into. Is this a partnership with an employer-employee relationship, or is this a self-employment type of relationship? Let's find out. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what to look for and what to ask during contract negotiation. And be sure to stick around for parts 2 and 3. I'm going to be getting into taxes, bookkeeping, and all the tools that you can use to stay organized. All right, let's get going. So to know if you are truly self-employed, the CRA looks at 6 key factors. These are some concepts that are going to appear on your clinic contracts. So I'll be pointing out some examples to watch for as we break down each of these factors. Okay, let's define each one. First up, we have control. This is who's really in charge of your daily activities. Next, we have tools and equipment. Do you bring your own tools to work, or is it supplied for you? Next, subcontracting. Can you hire someone else to do the work for you? We'll talk about what type of people might do the work for you in a minute. Next, we have financial risk. This is probably the biggest one. Are you financially responsible for the success or failure of your business? How about investment and management? You have to put your own money, time, and effort into your business to be considered self-employed. And lastly, we have profit potential. Do you have the chance to make a profit or a loss? These 6 factors are going to identify to the CRA if you truly are a self-employed individual. Some of these concepts might sound a little bit technical, but as we go through each one, I'm going to show you how they show up in clinic contracts and how you can identify those red flags. Before we move on though, let's head over to YouTube where we can watch the full-length video. Okay, let's start with control. Control is one of the biggest differences being an employee and being self-employed. If a clinic tells you when to work, which clients to see, and how to provide your treatments, they have control over you, and that's a classic sign of an employee relationship. Now here's where things can get a little bit tricky with those contracts. Clinics that want to stay in line with the CRA guidelines will avoid language like "you must work 9 to 5", and instead use alternative structures like a daily room fee that kicks in if you don't meet a certain minimum hours or bookings, or setting some kind of a minimum for your availability expectations instead of a fixed schedule. These tactics give the RMT more choice and keep the clinic on side with the CRA as per their self-employment guidelines. If the contract says you're required to be available at specific times with no flexibility, that could be a sign that the clinic views you as an employee, even if they're calling it a contractor agreement. Now, how about your equipment? Do you own your own massage table, the linens, pillows, oil? Do you pay for repairs, replacements when they wear out? If you do, then that's a good sign that you're a self-employed person. However, many clinics provide big-ticket items like the massage table, linens, pillows, while requiring the RMT to bring smaller tools like oils, tape, and other specialized tools for treatment. This can still satisfy the CRA's definition of a self-employed contractor, but it does depend on how much responsibility you have for maintaining and replacing some of the equipment as well. If you see a contract that says, clinic will provide linens and massage tables, but the RMT must provide all other necessary tools. This is a perfect example of an indicator of self-employment. You're being asked to invest in your own practice. Now, if you're self-employed, that means that you have the right to hire help, like a bookkeeper, administrative assistant, or even a locum to cover your shifts. If your contract allows you to hire a locum, it's a strong indicator that you're self-employed. Some contracts may require you to get the clinic's approval before hiring a locum, and that can start to become a bit of a gray area. Ideally, you should be able to select your own locum for your practice. Look for terms like RMT may hire a locum to cover shifts. This points to the self-employment direction. RMT must notify clinic before hiring a locum. Starts to lean towards the clinic having a little bit more control and may need a little bit more clarification in the wording. Okay, here's the big one. Financial loss responsibility. Do you pay rent for your treatment room? Do you have to cover the costs of no-shows or late cancellations? Those are clear financial risks, and they're key indicators of self-employment. Look at your contract and the potential risks. Do you pay a flat monthly rent or a percentage split? What financial loss responsibilities do each party hold in that contract? Do you cover client no-shows or cancellations? Where is the financial obligation of this loss going to land with the RMT or the clinic? Are you required to pay any additional fees for advertising, marketing, or workshops? We'll speak more a little bit about this in the financial investment portion as well coming up. If the contract says that you pay rent even if you have no clients or have some kind of owing amount to the clinic regardless of the booking arrivals, you are carrying a financial risk. Some contracts have per day or per shift fees, which spread the risk over time and lessens the financial hit on practitioners on a yearly gross perspective. Self-employed individuals invest in their business. This could be money, like buying more equipment, or it could be time and effort, like social media or community events. Many clinic contracts will require RMTs to participate in marketing efforts like posting on social media, attending wellness events, or creating content. This is a way to meet the CRA self-employment guidelines by showing that you're investing in your business. Don't shy away from those clinics. Clinics who provide opportunities for their practitioners to grow their practices are actually doing you a favor in the long run. Creating a solid clientele foundation allows for more flexibility and, best of all, stability as a self-employed worker. Check out my other videos on growing your referral base as a new RMT. So watch out for phrases like RMT must contribute to social media campaigns, RMT must participate in wellness fairs or events. If you're responsible for this type of promotion, that's a great indicator that you're self-employed, and it helps keep you out of that gray area for tax season. All right, let's recap. If you have control, own some of your tools, can hire help, have financial risk, and invest time into marketing, you're self-employed. But if your contract sets rigid schedules, requires clinic-controlled marketing, or eliminates the ability to hire a locum, you might be looking at more of an employee contract. Take the time, compare contracts, and don't just take the first one that comes your way. If you're unsure about a clause or specific wording, ask or get some legal advice and educate yourself on the rights and responsibilities as a self-employed worker. What types of points are most important to you in a contract? As always, if you found this helpful, part 2 is coming soon. all about bookkeeping and taxes. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and turn on notifications so that you don't miss it. And I want to hear from you. Have you seen any red flags in clinic contracts? Drop them in the comments below and I'll address them in part 2. See you next time.